Look, so here's the thing, audience. We were waiting for Dave to get back because he left right as the timer ran out. But now we've been waiting for a while, so he's probably drowning in a toilet somewhere. I think
he's making an artesian coffee.
I am your complex and excitable storyteller, APGamingREAL. Some have described me as mysterious and eloquent. I'm joined by Grimdark Mad, Grimdark Henley, and James.
Artisanal coffees.
Yep, artisanal coffee. Brought to you only by Grimdark Henley. Today is episode 23, the final episode of this season, after which we'll be taking a break until the 17th. At some point, I think James is going to download my videos off of YouTube and turn them, or maybe he kept a recording himself, and turn that battle into something watchable.
Oh, didn't I tell you? So I thought I told you. Like the recording in the first battle crashed partway through that I was doing.
Oh no!
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Oh shit!
I think it was when I was trying to fix all the problems I was having with TTS. I don't know if I managed to max out system resources somewhere. But
fuck.
Yeah.
It's probably for the best because the first session was pretty awful as far as everything moving. Because I was going to attempt to record it, but I just...
Yeah, we're going to do it differently next time.
That's it.
So
yeah. That's kind of...
what can I say about me? Tomorrow I've got the month-end Patreon discussion, and normally I feel like it's sort of a bland serving up of facts about the stream, but I think it's going to be almost completely dominated by... talking about the upcoming Star Wars game that I'm doing. So,
we need to
still salty, Arthur. Still salty.
What? Listen, we'll talk. Okay, maybe I'll do multiple Star Wars games. I don't know. There's a lot going on, man.
Wall-to-wall Star Wars.
Listen. There's never a bad time to get into Star Wars, but maybe
that is literally the best system ever made, in my opinion. Like
which one are you talking about? Genesis, D6?
No, he's talking about Genesis. He's not talking about West End.
Like Genesis is fine, but when you pair it with Star Wars, like it was literally like landing in a bottle for me. Like,
no, I'm gonna take a hard stance here and just say that Made RPG was the greatest RPG ever developed. Got him.
So that's
it.
Sure.
I knew that was gonna get Pondo turned up. He's a little tired. He's been driving all day, but I knew that I could come up with something shitty to get him in.
I knew
I'm not
immediately.
surprised because you like pumpkin spice latte. So I'm
no one has denied
honestly
that.
not surprised.
It's not just pumpkin spice lattes. Remember, I don't drink coffee. I like pumpkin spice anything.
I knew you were lying because I know you despise Made RPG.
I don't despise Made RPG specifically, but the game often becomes silly and stupid very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, was it meant to be a serious role-playing cathartic experience? Or
let's be clear here. The game itself says that most of the time it's not meant to be serious, but it does have options for very detailed, somber campaign play. What can I say?
For the weirdos.
Yeah.
It's for the aficionados, the pinkies in the air.
Listen to these haters, okay? You know what? I'm not going to defend Made RPG, but some people might be a fan of the Made aesthetic. It might just be the Maids.
I don't know if anyone here recalls back to a role-playing system that came out in the late 80s, early 90s called Macho Women with Guns. It was defined as they defined themselves as a beer and pretzel role-playing system,
just like BattleTech.
Beer and pretzel role-playing system.
Yeah, that's right. That became the genre name for games that weren't meant to be taken with any degree of seriousness, like Paranoia or.
Yep. Beer and pretzels. Yep. I know exactly what you're fucking talking about. Like.
I've never been heard described that way, and now
really, it's a common name for BattleTech. Is beer and pretzels politics.
Like, so basically, the idea is that imagine if you've had two drinks, two beers, like two actual like full on drinks, and then someone says, "Hey, want to play this fucking game?" And you're just like, "Okay, whatever." That is what that game system is supposed to be, but in a lot of cases, it's not that. But they like to believe that they hit those fuckers. Oh god, there's so many beer and pretzel games that are just not fun. No. Yeah.
Beer and pretzel politics. That
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's just U.S. politics.
There was a
your
time
uncle
where
when
I
he
would
comes
disagree
over
with
for
you,
news.
Pondo.
See, you can't disagree with me at the moment.
Look, we live in a society.
It is
You know,
a society.
Speaking of people who live in society, James, you've been working down to the wire to prep for today's episode.
I have. I think I mentioned to you last week that I had reached out to my friend Lynette again about doing some final audio for Angelique Cowles, and I got to tie it this week because it was my last week at work. I didn't get her the stuff she needed to do it until Friday. And then obviously today's Sunday in Australia, and I didn't have it as of this morning, like as of an hour ago. And I sort of said to her, "Hey, how are you going with this audio?" And she's got it to me, and I think she was a bit tired, and it's early morning here, and I've had to furiously work editing it up to a point that it can be put on the show. But we're there. We got there in the end. So I don't want to. It's not at all her fault. It's entirely my fault. So I want to thank Lynette again for her contribution. Not that I think she'll actually listen to the show, but just in case, I don't want to, I don't want to be anything less than completely thankful for it.
Isn't she the one that inspired the one adept with the
that was our other friend Lee. Yeah,
Oh.
other friend Lee from the same group of people.
Same group, just different. Okay.
Yeah. So, but that's been, other than it's Cyberpunk this week, BattleTech this week. I had to entertain 8 kids at my house yesterday for a Fortnite themed birthday party. So my soul has already been destroyed. I'm ready to put it through the final grind today for this big finale show, which could be a small or moderate sized finale show. We'll see how we go. I didn't want to run the risk that we got to like the time and we hadn't quite finished. So I made sure I sort of underplanned, and worst case scenario, we finish a little bit earlier, but sounds like you've got some shit you want to do as well, Arthur. So it should be okay.
Shit is the perfect description. I've seen the way some audience members talk about Nero, and I think that those people and myself might live in alternate dimensions. I don't know.
I feel like I am the catharsis for that, though. Like every single time Nero comes up in conversation, I make a statement that ends up everyone agreeing with or disagreeing with in very extremes.
People are like, Nero is taking over the ship, and I'm like, wait, has Nero literally ever disobeyed a single order in his entire life?
You didn't shoot the Space Marine.
You're right. Okay, other than that one, and I feel like that's really one that you can just kind of let pass.
I have, like a while ago. It was Nero who didn't let it pass.
Sure. Well, yes, he did feel like it was a major failure.
Now he's being a baby about the librarian.
A baby?
He was being a baby.
About Vitrian?
Yes.
Vitrian's a biggity bitch.
Viridius. Vitrian's the flesh terror.
Vitrian's a cool guy. Viridian is a biggity bitch, okay? Every time we talk to him, he's like, look, Vastapol's dead. And we're like, okay, that guy's name is Vastapol. It's right there on his armor. And he's like, oh, sorry, new phone, who dis? Like, he lies to us constantly. And he tried to mind control me.
That's because you're aiming a heavy bolter at him.
Yeah.
Probably could have annihilated his unarmored ass.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure he would just use some psyker power to warp my outsides to my insides. James, you got anything else going on?
No, that's really it.
All
just
right.
keep the play.
I look forward to having Nero running around trying to accomplish at least 5 tertiary objectives for a little bit of extra, gold rewards, maybe get that legendary mount he's been working towards.
You won't get that far because I'll call an emergency meeting and
are you gonna slap the button? Well, there's only one emergency meeting.
I mean, I'm definitely going to give Nero the chance to disobey orders again today. So.
Oh shit! What a treat!
I saw Nero use the vent. Gotta evacuate him now.
Nero's used the vent multiple times. He's also a fucking killer. Dave, speaking of imposters, you're among us.
Hello. It is I, Grimdark Dave.
Oh yeah, Grimdark Dave. I forgot about that part.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, fuck. Hi, I work for a living. What do you want me to say?
Many of us do.
I don't know. I mean, the game's on sale right now. Go spend your hard-earned dollars on my smut. You know you want to. Yeah, I mean, like I don't get to play video games very much anymore. I have been playing Medieval Dynasty though. That game is fucking awesome. You should definitely play that. If you like, here's the thing. If you like survival games, if you like collecting a thing to make a thing that allows you to make more things, like a crafting game, then you'll like this game. That's pretty much like, if you're not that person, just don't bother because you won't find anything here. But if you enjoy either one of those things, then you're good to go.
I found when I played State of Decay 2 recently, because you guys were talking a lot about other zombie games recently, that the thing I found about State of Decay 2 was it would have been a great game without the zombies. Mm-hmm. Like I really enjoyed like the survival aspect of driving around, finding fuel, finding batteries, trying to actually upgrade my settlement. I just got sick of fighting zombies while trying to do it.
That's how DayZ works. Fighting the zombies is the weakest part. Camping in city with the sniper rifle on the roof and waiting for some poor beggar to come by, sniping his ass, and then he's wandering around on the ground, bleeding out with a pistol, trying to figure out why the zombies are following him.
What would be the point of State of Decay 2 or State of Decay 1 if there wasn't zombies though? You know, you need that global evil to make ransacking people's homes interesting.
Well,
I think it would have been better if it was more, instead of zombies, it would have been like other people.
Yeah, and there are other people in the game.
Or...
That stuff's good, you know. It's like with any zombie genre, zombies aren't actually the villain; they are the environment.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I think it just I enjoyed the rest of the aesthetic more than I enjoyed dealing with the zombies there, especially because I think it was Drummer that mentioned the day he was a mad System Shock 2 fan. Like with System Shock 2, I really struggled with because of the whole fact that enemies respawn behind you. Like areas that you'd clear, enemies would respawn into from no viable entry point. And I sort of liked the idea of, if I clear this area out, it's cleared. And once again, a lot of zombie games are all built around refilling
You're
areas.
You're not going to like Tarkov then.
Yeah.
So you're a turtler then. That's what you do. You're a turtler.
That's right.
I like that.
Look, when I play RTS games like Dawn of War, whatever, I sit in my base. I research every single technology. I build 1,000 tanks and then I zerg the enemy. That's
we would not be compatible. I would Dark Templar your ass instantly. You'd be like, why are my workers exploding? I was just getting siege tank technology research. I don't have a siege tank, but I was researching it.
So I have a game for you, James.
Yep.
It's called They Are Billions. I think you'll enjoy the shit out of that.
You actually might. I would also recommend Supreme Commander Forged Alliance. Turtling is extremely strong in that game.
I think I played the original Supreme Commander.
Yeah.
Not
but
Supreme
yeah, They Are
Commander
Billions
2,
is fantastic. It's literally like, what if an RTS game, but billions of zombies attacked your walls all the time, and it was your job to like clear them out and then like expand your base a little bit.
Wow, the zombies are trying to crawl in it.
Yeah, it's wild. Really cool. It's a really cool game, and the like literally, They Are Billions is a great descriptor for the game because there's literally billions of zombies in that game. It's kind of crazy, and
there's achievements for how many you kill.
Yeah, it's great. It's a really cool game. In fact, I might actually go back and play that. I think they might have even released it because last time I played it was like early access. Let me take a look.
I remember watching Caitlin play it when it came out. Good shit.
It is good shit.
That's all I got.
Look. Then,
Dave, you got anything else?
Not much. I mean, like I'm still on the hunt for that fucking perfect game.
I got it for you. It stars Giancarlo Esposito as the villain, and it's called Far Cry 6.
Yeah, I love Far Cry. I'll play that, but it's not out yet. So
I mean, 5 was okay. It wasn't as good as, let's say, 3.
Look, man, I still think Far Cry 2 was the best Far Cry ever made.
Okay. We'll disagree, but
think
that's
about
fine.
it. I mean, like there's obviously things wrong with that game, but like as an aesthetic and as like a global look at a game, like Far Cry 3 is the best one of the bunch. Far Cry 2 is very close to that though. Like you go into like some war-torn country and you're hunting for the arms dealer that's selling to both sides, but then you also have like a buddy that's with you the entire time and he pulls you out of the shit if you go down, but then he can also die. And they have a lot of really cool mechanics, like just like weird things interacting with each other, like grenades, like non-live grenades rolling down a hill into a fire that blows up at like, oh, it's cool. It's a really cool game. The enemies are like hyper aggressive in that game, I think, though. So like, there's some problems with it there. But
I'll tell you why it's 4. Because you can slide down a hill while firing a bow and clear out an entire guard post in stealth. While you can also ride a mini helicopter bloop tubing honey badgers in the countryside while playing Ride of the Valkyries.
That ruined the game for me.
It was fucking amazing. Listen, bloop tubing fools from the gyrocopter is like some of the best gameplay I've ever experienced.
Yeah,
it's
but
incredible.
that's all you did. Like, I don't know about you, but I get really bored when I find a loop in a game. And maybe it's just because I make games.
I mean, like, there's a lot of the game where you can't use that particular strategy, but for some of the open areas, that was incredible. It was awesome to be able to do.
Yeah.
And it's not like you had that ability early. That's a late game technique.
No, the gyrocopters were everywhere. They were littered everywhere.
You could get the gyrocopter immediately.
Yeah.
I don't
it took a little bit to get the grenade launcher,
Yes.
but it doesn't really take long.
Doesn't take long, yeah.
You just have to do like a couple camps first and then boom.
I literally cleared out the entire game using that method, and it kind of ruined the game for me because like I would do it another way and I would just be like, but this is so inefficient now. You know what I mean? Like maybe this is why video games are ruined for me, because I can identify like a loop and then I just sort of
called
stick
exploiting,
with it.
Dave.
And,
You like exploiting games.
That's
what it is. You've found the best strategy, and so that's all you're going to use.
That's why things like Monster Train is so fucking interesting to me, because like it latches me on to like, yes, I found the perfect engine for building this deck of cards to smash the shit out of these monsters.
I don't know anything about Monster Train. Why would you need a train engine to build a deck of cards?
No. Engine is a mechanic for deck building games. Like basically, if you build a foundation of cards in your deck, and your deck is lean enough where it like self-fulfills, and like every time you're drawing cards, you're drawing more of the cards that you need to do more of the things that you do. That's called building an engine. It's how you make deck building games interesting. So if you can facilitate that in a building, in the design of a game, then you do really well. And what Monster Train does is, at a certain point, it like renders the old ways of you playing the game inefficient to the point where you have to manipulate and develop your strategies again in order to continue further, getting further in the game. So it's a really interesting take on that. Oh, sorry, I think I'm getting out of topic here. Sorry, that's enough for me.
Grimdark Mad, what do you got?
Not much. I'm a little tired. Yeah, I've been driving for about 7 hours in total today, but I'll be fine. It's not like I'll have a lot of talking to do today.
You should have hit crickets. You should have hit crickets.
Starting right now.
I know. I was waiting. Would have been the most amazing self-burn I had ever seen Pondo pull off.
That's why you need the silence to really let it soak in.
No. What I needed is an animation that does the little triple anime ... dots, and I would have put it right underneath you and had it go. Oh, it would have been incredible.
I haven't really done much as far as this week goes. I've been just finishing up the stuff that I needed to do for the adventure mode and Smash Bros. That's about it. I now have to just
Well,
go
I
back.
haven't thought about that in a long time. Holy shit.
It's not fun for me. It's very tedious and boring.
Yeah, I thought it was very tedious as well. Like, but still.
I would have much rather preferred they just did another like subspace emissary. I remember having a ton of fun. Even though there was like no voice acting or anything, you didn't really need it. All right, there was voice acting. Snake said one line that you could never really hear. It was always so quiet. But no, I've been trying to just complete that, and all I had to do now is get like 260 skill points just to get the last of the skills, and then that's done. And then I can.
But why?
Huh?
But
to
why?
get all the challenges done.
But why?
Part of me feels like, you know, I need to do this, so I'm doing it.
He's buckled down. He's got it going.
When your kids look at you and be like, "Grandpa, what did you do with your life?" And you'll be like, "Well, have you heard of this game called Super Smash Brothers Ultimate?"
No, Skyrim for Pondo. He's a
No,
grandfather.
it'll
Playing
100%.
Skyrim.
Oh, listen up, Billy. I played it back when it was only available on PC, and there were no mods.
I played it originally on PS3.
Oh, look
PC.
now you can walk around, kiddo, and it fits on your Zune. But back
Soon
when
it'll be but can it run Skyrim instead of Doom?
Can it run Crisis?
Actually, the new 380 cards can't run Crisis at full. The remastered can't run the remastered thing at full resolution.
How is that possible?
They have like a special can it run Crisis mode for the remaster,
which literally fries things. So like it can't even run it. It can't even run it at full resolution. It's insane.
Unbelievable.
I feel like it's just one huge practical joke that the developers made for it.
Yeah, there's probably a hidden Bitcoin farm behind the actual game that all your processing power is going into.
You know, I was considering getting.
No, it's just God rays. That's all it is. It's just huge amounts of luminescent God rays.
I was considering getting another 4K monitor, like a better one, but they're all $600 right now, which is fucking insane.
Dude, get an 8K monitor.
I don't know what that is.
It's like
8K?
a 4K monitor, but
You said 8K. I thought you said 8K. Why the hell would I get an 8K monitor? I have a 2070.
Why the fuck would you get a 4K monitor?
Because I can play games in 4K, and I like the idea of being able to do more 4K content. Why would I get an 8K monitor? 2070 probably can't support 8K. Not with... It would be my fourth monitor, so...
No, you need a 380 to do 8K.
Well, I can tell you that I'm not going to buy a 3080, probably. I mean, the next time I buy a computer, probably the next generation of NVIDIA cards will be out, or it'll be 3080 Ti, Lite, whatever.
Dual SLA. Man, have you seen the size of those things? They're like the size of my arm. That's enormous. You could kill a man with a Ti.
There were some people saying it lowered your case temperature because of the fan power. Pretty rare for a video card to lower your case temperature.
More surface area to convect through.
That's true.
Back to what I was saying is I like just completing games, like getting all the trophies and whatnot. And the one game that's been the bane of my existence forever now is Infamous. I'm missing
I was gonna say Oddworld Abe's Exodus.
No, I'm missing 2 blast shards that I could not find. That I think my game is glitched.
Halo
and
Legendary.
I don't want to start over.
Under the bridge. Under the bridge.
I'm pretty sure I've already checked that. I've literally went through the entire map multiple times, scanning it repeatedly, pressing the button. And then Infamous 2 added the function where you can unlock it, where you can just find where it'll tell you where they're at. And I'm like, oh my God.
Oh, where you have like the sense? Yeah.
Yeah. Where it'll automatically tell you where you need to go to find it. And like, why didn't they have this for the first game?
Because you know, there's a sense that like around 2011 I want to say 12, or maybe later, maybe like 2015, is when they started implementing things like, what if we made the game easier for the players? Like you can actually see like a switch happen in developers around that point, and it's like, well, what if it's easier? Will we sell more copies? And the answer
This
is yes.
motherfucker is saying that during premium Dark Souls territory, where everyone was like, oh man, what if I do Dark Souls, but I play it on fucking bongo drums? What if I did a full 0 to 100 World of Warcraft run, but I only use a DDR controller?
Yeah, but do you know how many copies of Dark Souls that guy has bought?
Yeah,
One.
but how many were sold as a result of watching him?
Probably not as many as you think.
Probably about a couple dozen at most.
Yeah.
And the people who bought them were probably getting them because they like to play Dark Souls anyway.
Here's the trick to selling games, right? If a user can play your game for more than 2.5 hours, you've sold them the game. If they can't play the game for 2 hours,
Soda Popping stream it with a bunch of his friends, but okay, we'll go with yours too.
I mean, most refunds happen within the course of like an hour or so of them playing a game.
So what you're saying is you need to make a game that's good for exactly 2.5 hours, and then it sucks afterwards.
Yeah, like
that has been happening a lot lately.
Yeah, no, that's what you see. So basically, there's like a curve, right, where the median average playtime of most users is about 1.5 hours. So if your game is better or more interesting and allows a player to play for 2.5 hours, most people you should do this with all the games that you play. Go into the Steam achievements and take a look at like all the early achievements you get in the game and compare that to every single, like the percentage of people that actually get those achievements. They will be a lot smaller than you think they are. 100%. Because people don't play the games for very long. They buy them, they play them for a little bit and go, yeah, that's cool, I'll come back to it, and they never do. But if your game is bad within that first 2.5 hours, they're going to get a refund straight away, every time.
Okay. Pondo, you got anything else?
No, I don't.
Right.
That's about it.
James, it's you.
Okay. So, previously on Rogue Trader, the Last Scion, we see Angelique Cowles on the bridge of a derelict ship recording a message before drawing her own las pistol to her head. We see Pierre Cowles being told on Scintilla about his mother's death and the fact that he's now inherited the Rogue Trader line. We see the group arriving on first Port Wanda, and then Footfall, aided by both the Imperial Navy and then the Grace of Sofa. We see the group participate in a heretical warp ritual to divine the location of some lost artifact. We watch as the group arrives on Regina for the first time, discovering the Hand of Calixis in its current state, and also exploring the Anvil of War on the planet below. We see battles in the ship below with horrific, monstrous amalgams of flesh and technology, a desperate attempt to cross through a cavernous part of the ship to find artifacts within the ship, an ancient dreadnought destroyed by explosives and ammunition fires. We see the group return to other systems as well, where they visit Solitude Station, where a mining insurrection is put down. They discover an ancient Eldar ruin, along with an Inquisitor that has since joined into their escapades. They meet with the projection of an Eldar Farseer who tells them the story of the sorrow of Aisha. They return to Regina again, preparing for the Necron battle before the Necrons finally arrive. We then sort of go into a series of flashes of the last battle where we see the Necrons pushing further into the Imperial line, Gauss Flayers raking the few Deathwatch Marines that have joined them. We see negative energy beams hit the Otoga June Caller, causing it to explode into a vast conflagration, which injures many, including Pierre, Nero, and Inquisitor Shrain. Dawn and the Librarian drop down behind enemy lines, charging into the Necron Overlord in mortal combat. The Punisher cannon is finally able to spin up and rakes through the forces of Necrons, cutting them all down. And finally, with the death of the Overlord at Dawn's hand, the ground is rent open as the Last Scion bursts onto the battlefield, firing destructive energy rays and abilities into the remaining Necron forces. Thought for the day: losses are acceptable, failures are not. So, Dave, you want to say something? You've got something in mind?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, oh man, I hope this isn't an episode of the TV show where they just do flashbacks for the entire show. You know, the callback episode where, like, maybe you get like 2 minutes of new footage and it's just flashbacks after that. Like,
so we see from Nero's eyes as enemy, as your fire is being poured into this floating vault of energy with this luminescent being at the center. Las fire, Punisher fire, bolts are slamming into the side of this thing. Some of them are being cast off by its energy shields, but finally you see green lightning crack through its hull, breaking apart the vault itself, and these beams lash out from it like bursts, like arcs of energy towards the ground around where you are as it starts to break apart, tearing a hole in space-time as it goes. And as Nero turns around, he can see, and even as he can feel this energy arcing across his own body, he can see that both Pierre and Inquisitor Shrain, both who have been badly injured by the Doom Crawler's destruction, are both in the path of these energy arcs. So what goes through Nero's mind, and what are his actions in that split second he has as a guardian?
I mean, we already know what's going to happen here. He's jumped in to save the Inquisitor before, but he has a solemn duty to the Cowles dynasty and to Pierre's mom, and so he says, "Look out, sir!" as he jumps in the way of the Force lightning. Ah! His skeleton is visible through his very human flesh. Except he's wearing heavy power armor, so it's probably really not that bad. He says, "Look out, sir!" And then he's like, "All right, I'm good. I'm fine."
And of course, yeah. So Shrain is hit by the full force in a blow that, on first examination would appear quite fatal. And as the remains of the Scion collapse into the hole from which it came, and things start to settle on the battlefield, you have a chance to sort of look around and take stock of where things stand. So the entire Deathwatch team has been laid low by a combination of enemy fire and the explosion. I think a team of Scutaria wiped out, a team of Sisters of Battle wiped out in the explosion alone. The Punisher tank is split open, its hull flaming from the inside. The explosion even destroyed the Ghost Arc the Doomsday Arc on the far side of the battle. Although I think 3 of the Devastators were able to survive. Looking around at the injured as well. So Necron weapons, the way they actually work, the pseudoscience behind them is they create a beam between the gun and the victim, which then shears off, which it breaks molecular bonds and shears off molecules from the person one layer at a time, drawing them back to the gun in order to power it. So it's like being dimensionally flayed. So looking at the corpses around that have been destroyed by Necron weapons.
So it's a suck gun.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so the magnetic gauss actually attracts things to the gun rather than using magnetism to fire stuff from the gun.
I can never look at that weapon again. Sounds horribly brutal.
Yeah, any excess energy is expelled as mist by the gun, which is why there's always those green mists in the Necron forces as such. Yeah, so Dawn, you're uninjured, and Viridius, you and Viridius were outside. You couldn't get close up to the vault before it exploded, but by the same token, you were saved from potentially horrific injury by that. You can see that the Dreadnought and the Silver Skull's captain were both in melee combat with it when it went up. The Dreadnought its sarcophagus is split, but it still functions. Whereas the Space Marine captain lies not moving on the ground nearby where he was standing previously. And you can see, now the battle's over, the sort of medical forces that had sort of held back are starting to make their way here, but there are plenty of people here that are dying, or you have an opportunity to save someone if you wanted to. You know, there is the Space Marine captain who you probably didn't have much to do, but he is quite a major figure within the Imperium. He's one of the 10 captains of an entire Space Marine Legion. Likewise, the entire Death Watch kill team, including Librarian Lonan, the Epictetus, the kill team leader, have all been laid low. What goes through Dawn's head in this?
Yeah, so I personally, as a player, it's hard for me to recognize the NPCs a little bit here, mostly because I haven't had much interactions with these NPCs. So in your experience, like with the way that Dawn has been and stuff like that, has there been any particularly exceptionally pious people that maybe stand out as like needing the Emperor's guiding hand to?
So what I will say is that Space Marines themselves rarely revere the Emperor as a god. You know, because they are actually descended from the Primarchs who were the Emperor's sons, they view him as a powerful being, certainly, but not as an actual god. The Silver Skulls chapter are an exception. They do still, and then there are multiples of this, but they are one of the few chapters that does actually still like pay religious homage to the God Emperor. So if you were looking for a pious figure, then probably the Silver Skulls captain.
Okay. Then that's probably who she would go for. Like as a reward for his service and all that sort of stuff. Like it'll be easier to bring him back.
Yeah.
At least how she feels. So
okay, so you run to his side, and you can see a Space Marine apothecary has entered the field as well. So these are Space Marine medics, but their primary job, yes, they do see to injure Marines, but when Marines die, their job is to actually tear out the hormonal implants that they use, so they can be then reused for future Marines. So the apothecary has gone first to the scout squad that died in the midfield and is currently like using his reductor to cut a hole in their neck and their abdomen to remove these implants. And you're checking over Captain Eden Bourne. So I'm going to say you had to spend a fate point, not burn a fate point, to spend a fate point for the start of the session, but you applying your divine ministration. He suddenly coughs up blood. And he actually give me a let's just see. What's the skill again? I haven't run the RPG system in quite a while. Not insight. What is it? Scrutiny check.
Okay.
You scrutinize him, bro?
Always scrutinize him.
No. Okay. No, nothing seems underwater. And in fact, when the apothecary comes over to where you are, he seems quite shocked at the fact that Bourne is getting up and like Bourne sort of using your power armor, you're actually able to help him stand because he weighs about 500 pounds in his power.
I don't think I have power armor at the moment.
Oh, you don't? Okay, well then probably he might have to stand on his own as such, but he's badly injured, but he will survive. And the apothecary, without a further word, sort of goes to help him walk away, and Bourne does turn back towards you and give you a nod of admiration without saying anything as his apothecary leads him from the field. Presumably a few moments later, you three find yourselves together on the field of battle.
Talk to me about the Inquisitor. He is down but alive?
He is, yeah. So affected. So I said the wounds looked fatal, but by the time medics get there, they say somebody yells out, "He's still alive!" And
I think that Nero will carry the Inquisitor in the way that one carries a kitten, by like grabbing him between the shoulder blade armor and like picking him up and carrying him to Dawn and like dropping him unceremoniously at Dawn's feet.
So you're scruffing him is what you're saying?
Yeah.
That doesn't seem like an appropriate way to carry someone who is in need of care.
He's alive. Oh, and this is probably the first time we got to hear Nero with his heavy power armor synthesized voice.
Oh, so you didn't get the soundboard ready? You know,
I don't have that. I don't have a soundboard.
Mm-hmm. So Dawn will ignore Nero, and
when that happens, Nero is just going to say, "Dawn, he's an Inquisitor. He is as close to the Emperor as the Lord Captain."
Well, I mean, she's already kneeling down, looking at over his wounds when you say that, and it's like, I mean, that is very obvious to me, Nero. You look like you've run into a tree. Do you need some assistance from me as well?
Yes, please, sister.
Oh no, that was to Nero. He was.
Oh, sorry.
Nero's instead checking over the Lord Captain, making sure that he doesn't have, like, he's not in shock and like doesn't realize he has injuries. So he's like unceremoniously inspecting the Lord Captain, like picking his arm up, checking to make sure there's no like side wounds.
Nero, I'm fine. I'll live.
Lord Captain, I've served on many battlefields, and I've seen men die of injuries that they have not even realized that they had. Please bear with me through this.
I am 100% certain I have injuries because my HUD is not shutting up about it.
So Nero set yourself at 4 of 16 wounds.
Oh shit!
And Pierre, you're at 3 of 13 wounds.
No, that's not that bad. That's pretty bad, but not that bad.
So I'll do a Medicaid on the Inquisitor.
Okay, give me a +20 Medicaid roll.
Roger.
Let me see if I remember how to actually use my overlay.
I don't mind doing.
Boom.
Oh no, I'll just do +20. 2.6.
Cool. All right. So he's fully stabilized. He will 100% survive. You know, it's not like he goes to suddenly miraculously up again, but he, you know, hospitalized, come over with stretchers, and you're confident that he will definitely survive these injuries.
So I'm going to go over to the Lord Captain next and be like, Lord Captain, I hate to see you walk around with such a limp. Do you mind if I attend to you?
No, proceed. I won't complain.
We need you to have as much swagger as you need to have for the next coming. Well,
Nero looks
I lost
mildly
my
offended.
cane, so my swagger is a little bit low at the moment. So that would be
Pierre
nice.
literally complained when Nero did this, so he's a little upset.
It's a hospitality, though.
yeah, exactly.
I figured Nero would be.
All right, yeah. If you say that, Nero's just like, okay.
I'll spend a fate point to
do administration, divine administration.
Administration, yeah.
Okay, give me a Medicaid roll +20.
1.1.
So you get back nine wounds, Pierre.
Damn. All right.
Actually, I think I got an extra talent that gives me more now.
Oh
no, that was just Medicaid +20.
Brings me up to 12 out of 10 out of 13, so I'm pretty good.
Yep.
And then she'll, it's all warm. You know, it's a warm feeling, like little, almost like you've touched like a lit candle sort of thing. It's a little unbearable, but you know you can deal with it. So then she'll turn to Nero and she'll be like, Nero, what about you?
I would not refuse medical treatment.
Very well. Show me where it hurts.
So Nero's just like
everywhere.
Here where you can see my flesh through the power armor.
He just kind of stands there. He doesn't really know how to answer that question.
All right, give me a roll, Dave.
Sure. I will, for the sake of role playing, I will also spend another fate point here.
Incredible. What dark power is this?
This is the lightest power that you could possibly have. Okay.
Yep. You're rolling high today, but you are still succeeding. So that will be another 9 wounds for you, Arthur.
Okay. That brings me out of heavily wounded, so I'm in a great place.
Yep. Your Vox pings. You're being communicated to from the Hand of Calixis.
Yes, this is Pierre Cowles.
This is the unnamed Master of Hysterics. The seismic activity we detected before seems to have ended, and the plasma drive of the the Anvil of War is powering down. Whatever you did there seems to have succeeded.
Killed the giant green triangle.
Succeeded with loss, but succeeded nonetheless.
Master of Etherics.
Yes.
What's your
Master of
name?
Wonders. We need a name, so he can be.
I thought his name was the unnamed master. And I was about to say, geez, James, when someone calls himself the unnamed, he's in fact naming himself. So it's like an oxymoron.
Right, yes. This is Bellator Hadaway.
Thank you, Bellator, for your report.
The ship was still making way towards a bombardment position, and we still
Hold position when you arrive. We'll give you further orders later.
copy that. I'll relay it to the helmsman. Probably at this point, you can actually see, so the Hand of Calixis is big enough that when it's in a bombardment position, you can actually see it in orbit from the ground. So it's just visible at the edge of the skyline.
Also, I probably would have brought to the Lord Captain the head of that Necron leader.
So when he dies, they disappear. They disappear in a puff of logic.
Is it just the leaders, or is it all the Necrons?
All the Necrons, except the vehicles stay. The Canoptech units remain behind. So like the Wraiths, the Scarabs. But the actual
is it some sort of dust then?
No, they're quantum teleported, so there's nothing left behind at all.
Damn it!
It's fucking area shit. Okay.
Yeah.
This is the weirdest battlefield I've ever fought on, Lord Captain. Congratulations on your first victory, and might I add, congratulations on your first solid business venture, since we've been trying to do this since basically the beginning of acquiring the ship.
Yes. Well, let's pick up what we can and prepare to sell to somebody.
Nero's going to take his helmet off, and he's going to pull out a pair of tinted sunglasses and say, Lord Captain, we may have defeated, and he turns to look at the camera, the tides of iron. And then he takes the dark sunglasses off and says, but we still have to deal with the Last Scion. Last Scion, Season 1 title drop. Because we were going to capture him alive, if you'll recall.
Yes.
And he's like right there, down in that hole.
Yes,
I'm pointing to him
know.
right now.
We might have
He's
to
looking
get
up, flipping the bird at you. Come down here, then, nerd.
Yes, we might need to get Cade again to let us in.
There's a giant hole right in the middle of the battlefield, Lord Captain, that leads directly to him.
Yes, but who knows if it is open?
All right, I'll bet.
It's a giant hole which is open, but it descends into darkness.
Yes.
Finally, we had some sort of jump pack technology.
Not all of us are good enough to know how to use jump packs, Don.
It's not hard. You read a book, Nero.
I have read several books. Most of them.
Yes, I know your reading material, and I very much disagree.
So Nero looks super suspicious and says, "What do you know about that?"
I can read the covers of the books you read, Nero.
Nero continues to look suspicious, and he says,
"You literally sat across from me at the cafeteria reading it last week."
Oh, you mean that book, right? Yes, ha ha ha. Yes, that book.
Well, what book did you think I was referring to?
No
Are you
book at
reading
all.
some sort of like hereditary text or something like that?
Nero turns away and he looks at the Inquisitor and says, "No book at all, Don. No book at all."
So Dawn will chase you around, keeping your eye line, and be like, "What books are you reading, Nero?"
Nero will put his helmet back on.
Must be some inquisitorial smut.
Wow, you guys have such a low opinion of him. Where do you think he learned the ability to torture people from?
I learned it from watching you.
That's true. The
You
Lord
heard the Lord
Captain
Captain
actually
shoot
did
someone in the
torture
knee.
someone.
You get another Vox call. So this is your Vox operator. So it's my net here. Lord Captain, we're receiving a Vox hail from the Anvil of War, addressed to you.
Oh, I suppose put it through.
Right, there's like a. There's
All right, James, I know you prepared for this. Let's do it.
Do what?
You're gonna play the call.
No. This is the Last Scion calling.
Oh fuck! Well, shit.
Yeah.
Fuck this guy. God damn it.
Hey, I got a message on my phone, but this is a new phone. I don't know who this is. Who is this? Can you tell me?
Pierre Cowles, betrayer. Do you now wish to honor our bargain?
I was trying to honor your bargain while you're up here, but it seems that you weren't quite.
Your insignificant weapons cannot destroy me in this form. If you wish to go ahead and destroy me as we agreed, you will require something much larger. But as I promised, I will submit myself to the destruction. But there is a high probability that the Inquisitor Shrain has attempted to bargain with you for some sort of capture. Understand that just as I would not submit to the bondage of a much more superior race, I will not allow myself to be captured by the likes of your kind.
Nero writes down on a piece of paper. He's been captured twice now. Then he writes below it, 3-peat.
I would like to ask, what is enough to kill you then?
Your ship weapons should be sufficient, or potentially the destruction of the power source of this vessel to which I'm currently connected. May I send information to your ship, a data packet?
Oh, Nero's got a head plate on, so all you see is his head going, no.
I have stored a message from your creator.
Nero's still going, no.
God Emperor is sending you messages through heretical
Nero's like, Don,
My
it's his
mother,
mother.
Don.
What the? That is a very strange way to refer to your own blood.
His actual mother.
The Angelique Cowles left a message that she greatly hoped you would receive, which I have intercepted.
Damn it.
Let me
Perhaps
in.
can you leave the message in some sort of terminal within the Anvil of War?
Yes, I will. Though the message is currently stored in the bridge systems, though I have encrypted it with an encryption that your kind could not break in 1,000 lifetimes.
Nero points to the thing that says that this guy's been captured twice already.
At the moment of my death, I will send the decryption code.
It's a reverse kill switch.
You see Pierre just like swinging the air, just not saying anything, but it's like the emotion is very much of like, damn it.
I love the idea. You know that gif from Castle where he's like,
Nero's going to take his helmet off and motion for Pierre to mute his microphone.
The last song hung up, by the way.
Oh.
Oh, okay. Well,
Nero still has his helmet off and says, Lord Captain, do
Call
not
me when
allow
you
your
stop being
emotions
stupid."
to be held hostage by this creature. I will remind you, its creator, the Void Dragon, he's going to look around and make sure that, like, there's no one besides the three of us within talking range.
No. Everyone's evacuating all the.
I was about to
castles
say,
back
like,
to
I might have to
back to
kill
Bivouac,
some
yeah.
serfs nearby or something, but the Void Dragon was captured by the God Emperor, and then this thing was stored inside of a probe and was then captured by your mother again. So it gets captured on a somewhat regular basis on a galactic scale, really. Your mother loved you very much, and we know that because she planned for you to one day inherit the dynasty and the ship, even over your slightly more capable and senior brothers.
Let's
Because
see if
she trusted
can...
you and not them.
I will attempt to mute the mic for a reply. Let's see if we can form some sort of plan.
Oh, he's already hung up. He's
Yeah,
somebody
yeah,
else.
he hung up.
Yeah,
But still, paranoia of this thing could tap in at any moment if it felt like it.
He put the stakes on the table. That's all he required to do.
Yeah.
So he's cut the communication.
Just slide into those DMs and send a reply. You know?
I'll remind you, Lord Captain, our technology will not work around him. I cannot wear this armor in his presence, nor will my guns work. My cybernetic optic was hacked. I believe that my heavy bolter may encounter machine spirit technical difficulties. We would need to engage this thing with sticks and swords.
He did say to shoot it with the, the ship's weapons. Why
Yes,
don't we
but
just do that?
we're trying not... Theoretically, we are trying not to kill it. We are capturing it for the Inquisitor, who is lying at your feet.
The Inquisitor has been taken away by hospitalars.
Yeah.
Okay. Away, so.
The Inquisitor who went away with those hot nurses over there.
Honestly, Lord Captain, if you want my opinion, I would say that you shouldn't try to negotiate any terms with this creature. Instead, erasing it from the history books would probably be the best turn.
I agree.
Yes, at the moment, let's assume that it can prevent our weapons from working as they mess with the machine spirits within them.
There is a possibility for victory, Lord Captain. Although, again, I would say that engaging this creature would be foolish. And turning on the Inquisitor after having promised him aid would also be...
I can speak with the Inquisitor after.
You are very convincing, sir.
And you are also a rogue trader.
Yes.
You have the right to do as you please.
That only works as long as he's outside of the Imperium.
We are outside the Imperium.
Currently, yes. If you anger this person, remember that Al guy who wants to go after my family?
Ultimately, the Inquisitor would yes.
Yeah.
You really did irritate that person, yes.
It was intentional.
I 100% believe that you did it intentionally. Ultimately...
Very petty. Look, sir, if you upset this Inquisitor, he can make life difficult for you at the very least. At the very worst, he can make it so that setting foot in the Imperium would be suicide.
Indeed.
There
also,
is a path to
think
victory
about,
here.
You do need to think about your internal struggles, though. If you continue to consort with these sorts of beings, you are going to eventually have a crisis of faith. And in all honesty, you have an opportunity to get what you want from this creature while also destroying it. I'd see that as a win-win.
Very well.
Nero,
I'll wait till the Inquisitor is conscious enough to speak with.
Yep, Nero's here.
you get like a text message from like one of the hospitalars.
Yep.
Back at the base camp saying that when you're available, Brother Vitrian is asking for you.
All right.
Also, I heard you called me hot.
Nero's going to turn to the Lord Captain and say, I must go, sir, unless you need me for something.
I don't.
Victory is possible with the use of the savages on this planet. They are numerous, they number in the millions, and they are proficient at the use of weapons which do not use the machine spirit. By sending waves of them down to the core, they can defeat our enemies. And they are willing to follow you and the God Emperor now that they have been indoctrinated in our ways. Probably. And then Nero's going to turn and put his helmet back on and start heading towards the hospitaller tent.
I still think he's wrong, Lord Captain.
About
But
what?
you're free to make your own choice.
Nero agrees with you. He literally said he agrees with you. But if the Lord Captain wants to do it, Nero's job is to find a way to make it happen. And that's how you do it. We send people with swords and sticks who are good at swords and sticks that ride lizard beasts, camels, and we send them into the hole and have them kill everything for us.
Also, Nero's kind of a stinky butt, so like, you know.
Nero
Just
is wearing
whatever.
power armor, so he picks up on all of that, but he doesn't care.
Maybe
Cares internally.
there's a button you can push to bathe yourself in that thing, yet you refuse to do it.
Wow. This is not canon.
I don't know if that's canon or not.
Nero and Dawn both also get a text message from Sister Miriam, simply saying that she's heard that the battle was won and congratulating you on the success.
But not me.
How many more emojis do I get over Nero, though? Like, that's the important thing.
Miriam's very succinct in her communication. Minimum stuff required.
Nero sends an acknowledgement. It's the kind of acknowledgement that would piss Dave off back in the day. He just types OK with no dot.
So Dawn sends like you know, because we're both part of the
Hospitaller.
the hospital, not the hospitality, the ecclesiarchy. We have an exclusive set of ecclesiarchy emojis that we can send to each other. So it's one of those. It's like, you know, like that, but it's got like
Power
a
armor praying.
halo. Yeah, it's got like a halo.
So this is an awkward situation where Nero is like, I gotta head to the Hospitaller. Then Pierre's also heading to the Hospitallers because he wants to speak with the Inquisitor.
it's a big, you know, they've got a whole bivouac, you know, set up for all the forces, so it's a large camp.
You told me they only had 6 Hospitallers. So.
Yeah, but what I mean is like the whole, because you've got probably some of the local imperial citizens like being runabouts and stuff to help him. Yeah.
I like to imagine it's also like they've got like the current loadout for the bishops in the COVID-19. They walk around with a holy gun filled with like holy water and just spray the people, and then they can. So it's very efficient. You know, they can deal with a lot of injuries.
I mean, consider the fact you lost about 7 Scutari, about 10 Sisters Battle, 5 Scouts, 2 Devastators. You probably lost less than 20 people total, you know, in terms of casualties as such. So it's probably not that you know, frantic an actual sort of post-battle situation, because you mainly had tanks on the board.
As Nero is moving forward, we get the like head bob from the power armor, and he turns to look over and points to like 2 Imperial citizens, and he says, "Find that Aegis defense line and bring it down. Put it by my tent."
Yeah. they nod and run off. So you find your way to like where the Marines have set up their sort of like their particular equipment required for medical aid, and someone directs you through to where Vitrian is. He's inside like a small demountable building where you go inside there, and at first you don't see him because it seems to be all this machinery in here, and there's a couple of servitors working on the machines, and you realize that Vitrian is actually like inside some sort of like, imagine like a Bacta tank, but it's opaque. So effectively, it's like he's in some sort of recovery device. Although you can also see like a hacked off leg nearby that was, you know, you recognize that leg in that panorama. That was definitely Vitrian's leg. That's been.
I've seen this before because he lost his arm earlier.
That's right. Yeah. And there's like a little sort of Vox speaker attached to the device, and so you hear Vitrian's sort of synthesized voice come over the Vox. "Nero, my brother in battle, thank you for answering my summons."
"Brother Vitrian, your Inquisitor lives."
"Indeed. I need to talk to you of this as well. I believe that Train wishes to capture the creature that we have just fought. Is this something that he has communicated to you and your master?"
"I have been ordered not to speak on this subject."
"Very well. I serve the Death Watch, but I also serve the Emperor. I believe that allowing the Inquisition to control this thing, or to believe they control this thing, would be dangerous for all of us here.
I am in agreement.
I cannot stop Shrain, but nor can Shrain stop your master while we are out here. I would implore you, my brother, to counsel your master that if there is a way to destroy this thing, it is best done. Shrain is just a man. He doesn't know what he deals.
I have already counseled the Lord Captain in such things. Nero picks up a random cat nearby and says, I will convey to the Lord Captain that someone of your timeless wisdom speaks in such a manner of authority on this. For you to go against the Inquisition as a member of the Death Watch, as a member of his own coterie, may be enough to turn his mind. What is this cat doing here? I don't understand why they allow cats inside this sick tank.
I keep it in my power armor at all times.
Listen, let me be 100% clear. I'm going to tell you what happened. It's been years since she's done this, but she Jurassic Parked the door to my studio open by stretching her whole body out, pulling the handle down, and backwards towards her. It's been years, but she made it. She made it.
Clever girl.
During the break, I'm going to take her back upstairs.
Maybe she's trying to tell you, like warn you of the apocalypse that's coming or something.
Jesus.
Nero, if I survive these surgeries, then I will fight alongside you again. If not, I will see you beyond the veil.
Shall be done as the God Emperor wills it, Patreon. And he's going to put his helmet back on. He's going to go turn and find Pierre, because Pierre is also having a scene somewhere around here.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
Nero will arrive after his scene, of course. Perfectly timed.
Okay. So, Pierre, you're sort of shown to the tent where Shrain is currently convalescing. I mean, he's been quite badly injured, although, Dawn's ministrations did save him. He is probably in, not like an induced coma, but he's certainly under. He's being fully sedated. So if you want to wake him up to speak to him, they're going to have to give him you have to ask the hospitalized to give him a stimulant shot to get him out, awake.
Straight to the heart, adrenaline, massive spike. He'll be awake for 5 minutes.
He doesn't care. He'll motion them to do it.
No worries. Yeah.
He doesn't care.
They come in. They give a shot to him, and a moment later he sort of like it's not like adrenaline straight to the heart, but it's fast acting, whatever it is, and he sort of snaps awake, and his immediate reaction is to go and get up, but then he suddenly realizes how much that hurts, and sort of
I know that feeling too well. Like, I'm awake. Oh, I'm going back down.
Lord Captain.
Yes, Inquisitor Shrain. Good to see that you're still alive.
Yes. No thanks to that thing, but I must pass my thanks to your hospitaler. She's helped me.
Yes, Sister Dawn has done an excellent amount of work so far. I've just
what is next? We probably need time to heal and rearm and prepare before anything else happens.
Yes, ultimately, I think we'll not be able to take the core. It's too much of a good defensible position. Although there's many of the pariah slain, there's probably still more. And ultimately, if this thing can hack into cyberware, the rest of the machine spirits could just go to its calling as well. So I think we'll just have to destroy it.
Are you sure there is no other way?
This planet has the This planet has been tainted by it for too long. And ultimately, it's too dug in for us to just sneak through. As like before, we tried to enter in the facility and go through, but it locked us out.
I understand what you're saying, and I will cede to your authority here. I'm sure, given time, you will find other value that the Inquisition will support that will allow us to go ahead with the deal to help you claim Footfall.
We'll see about that. I really just want one person dead. That's all. Mostly on the principle of the matter. Actually, I just really want him to suffer for about 50 hours to make up for the 10 hours that you made me wait. Or was that 100?
I am a supporter of you and your family, Lord Captain. Whatever you decide here, except that I will hold no rancor against you.
That's good to hear.
Ideally, I would like to sleep now, though. And maybe when this is all done, you can wake me up and tell me what happened?
Absolutely. It'll take about maybe 4 minutes for you to go back to sleep. So.
Yes, that's it. Like hospital also says, like we literally can't just give you another sedative after giving you it's not good for your heart. But they'll probably give him some sort of analgesia, so I'll manage the pain.
Poor man's gonna be doped up for the next several days.
Yeah.
All right, I'll leave then. I guess running into Nero, but Nero's not here, so
that's it. Yeah. So, Dawn, what are you doing during this time? So most of the people currently are in the camp now, trying to assess the damage and deal with next steps.
I love the idea that like just about everyone who participated in this war is injured in some small way.
Yeah, the explosion was huge. Like literally, the only people that were out of range of the explosion were yourself and Viridius. The Devastators and the sisters, like the Canoness and the Centurions, were on the hill. Everything else was hit by the explosion. So
Dawn will be going around and just like making sure that the people who are most affected would be getting, her brand of God Emperor healing TLC. Mostly making sure that she's seen. Because this is a good way to get people on the crew to sort of come to her sermons, I guess, a bit more, right? She's using this as an opportunity to sort of spread the virtue, essentially.
Also, in response to your ecclesiastical emojis, Miriam does also send another message saying that...
ecclesiastical emojis. Is it like the symbol of like the battle?
Oh, the fleur de lis.
I'm trying to imagine what these are.
Do you remember back in the day when you'd get like a TV ad for like ringtones and like pictures that you could have on your Nokia?
Oh yeah, I mean, I don't remember
this
happened in the US, but certainly in Australia, you would have things where like late night ads, like 2 a.m, would be like, ring this number, and it's going to cost you like $5 per 10 seconds.
Yep.
But you get like this ringtone, or you get this like ASCII art thing you can put on your Nokia phone to send to your friends.
Yep. Yeah, so it's like that. Like that's basically how you get the ecclesiarchy emojis. Is you have to like pay some like fucking ecclesiarchy like a hotline that runs constantly on some TV channel somewhere, and it's just like, yeah. Anyway, you were saying, sorry.
So Miriam was sending another message saying that there's no urgency, but when you are available, she would like to see you and Nero as well.
Together or separately?
Well, it just says, if you ask that question, it's like, well, I want to tell you both the same thing. So either I tell you together or I tell you the same thing. I tell the same thing twice, but it's not urgent. It's just.
So I'll go find Nero then.
Okay. Well, Nero, you've found. So Pierre's coming out of Shrane's medical tent, and you sort of hear like Shrane's voice inside, like, "Ah, son of a bitch, that hurt."
Why the heart, though? Why directly into my heart?
Lord Captain.
Yes, Nero.
Might I speak with you privately over here?
Can it be quick? I have to make preparation for a bombardment.
Then we have nothing to talk about.
Oh, okay.
You're aware that the bombardment radius of the Hand of Calixis is about 16 kilometers, and we're well within that right now.
Yes, that's why I have to make preparations.
Understood, sir. I will go talk to Dawn, I guess. I can see her waving over towards me.
Yes,
He's like,
And then
through the
I'm going
crowd,
to
just
find
rubbing her
a
hand on
transport
people.
out of here.
Are you sending anybody into the Anvil of War to collect the data packet that you asked you have stored on the bridge terminal?
Yeah, I'll be going. It's pretty much all I get to transport with me and the mercenaries.
Okay.
To go over there to try to get in contact with go over to receive the data packet or whatever.
problem. So you find, Nero and Dawn hook up, link up.
Ew.
Yeah.
Okay.
There were several other ways you could have said that would be more accurate.
Yeah.
Dawn, you were gesturing for me, so I've come over here. What do you need?
Whew. Well, I think Miriam has found a suitable egg donor for our Lord Captain.
Really?
Well, that's what I assume she wants to talk about because she wants to talk to you and I believe the weird side story we have going, trying to find someone to bang the Lord Captain, is coming to a head.
Wow, fascinating. I thought I was the only one who thought in that sort of side storytelling arc type thinking.
Oh no, the Sisters of the Ecclesiarchy are notorious for having looking at family trees and speculating on births and wondering why this man was married to this woman when clearly he was so much better off with someone else. You know what I mean? Like, it happens a lot. So this sort of stuff is my bread and butter.
Well, I have read several smutty Ecclesiarchy issued novels, so I'll actually believe that when you say it.
Nero, please, no, please. Don't. What? No. That's disgusting. No, this
Are you
is
kidding? There's
merely-
literally an Ecclesiarchy pamphlet called The Wounded Soldier.
So Dawn is just looking at him, just like stunned. It's like,
You read that too?
No.
That's what she said. He's just
No.
he just gives Dawn an odd look and pulls his helmet off and says, "Let's go talk to Miriam. This conversation's making me very uncomfortable. Our
You know
relationship isn't
that-
this close."
honestly, I worry for my future healing for you, because if you're thinking these sorts of thoughts, I'm not sure that the purity of my faith will be able to reach through all that taint you have.
Nero puts a hand on Dawn's shoulder and says, "There are so many jokes about taint that I'm going to skip over, and I will instead remind you that the God Emperor himself had children. There's nothing wrong with a little boning. Hashtag Kinky Fridays." And then he's going to turn and start walking away.
Product placement.
That sounds like a great company.
It is the 41st millennia, and Kinky Fridays is once again at war.
So Miriam's not in the bivouac. She's back in Landfall Colony, which is also where the shuttle bay is to actually fly back up to the Hand of Calixis. So, or the landing platforms. So it's like an hour drive back to Landfall from here.
I feel like we should have had this conversation while we were driving, Nero, because
That's fine, you
now
can say
I
we
don't
did.
think we have much to talk about.
Nero will absolutely play post-battle game where we talk about who had the best kill and list all our kills.
It's like you list all of yours, and I'm just like, yeah, the head of the enemy army.
Yeah, well, where is it?
You have me there. It exploded into a green mist.
Yeah. Probably like
It's
the
very
person
thrilling,
driving this
though.
vehicle for you is like in awe of you guys as well while you're having this conversation. This is just like some plebeian who's driving this ground transport.
That's ridiculous. It's of course it's Nero's golf cart. Give me
Oh,
a
sorry,
break.
I'll say it'd be
Nero's
funny if it
golf
was the
cart isn't
plebeian
really-
who was like, "Can I get your autograph?"
Oh, you're
That's
right.
the-
It's not all-terrain.
It's not all-terrain, no.
Okay.
This is...
All right. He leans forward to the guy who's driving in his heavy power armor that weighs a ton, and he's just like, "You can have my autograph when we get there."
He's quite excited for this prospect.
You just
No,
hand
you're
him, like,
right,
an
Don.
empty shell.
I know that I mocked it for a moment, but your kill was extraordinary. Actually, I have to be honest, besides organizing my side of the battle, the most significant thing I did was to protect the Lord Captain. My kill rate during the combat was much lower than normal.
You know, I kind of understand now why you're so fixated on, you know, destroying the enemy. Like, honestly, taking the life of such a vile creature filled me with such a religious
Righteousness,
zealous,
right?
Exactly.
Yeah,
yes.
it feels like the God Emperor is just like, great job, kid. You did good. Yeah, exactly, Don. One day you'll be more like me. And I want to be clear, like, maybe only Don hears it as evil chuckling, and for everybody else it's like mirthful laughter. But there's definitely an evil element to it. Like, one day you'll be like me.
Well, I hope that's not the case, because you are absolutely abysmal in hand-to-hand combat. So I would have to fall down
Yes,
quite
but
a number of
my
rungs to get
faith
to that point.
is unparalleled.
Again, no one is going to build a statue of you, Nero.
You're right. No one's going to build just one statue of me.
Okay. I'm going to turn to the guy in the front seat and just like, so what about you? How many people did you kill?
I was staying in this transport, like behind the lines. I'm not a soldier. I'm in logistics, transportation.
So tell me about your greatest feat during the battle then.
I was just waiting for orders.
No. What's the greatest feat that you've done in service to the Imperium? Son.
Ooh, I like that
Oh,
question.
Yeah.
That's a
okay.
good one.
See?
I once found an error on a spreadsheet that could have cost the Departamento Munitorum thousands of man hours in checking for lost material.
Everyone serves in their own way. That's amazing. Thank you for your efforts.
Yeah, Nero is just like incredible. Incredible.
Hang on,
Maybe I should get your autograph.
I got this medal for it, and he points to like a ribbon on his chest.
Yeah. Nero is impressed.
It's just like a cheap little ribbon that they took in from like the
What is
t-shirt
your
department when they
name,
gift wrap and
soldier?
stuff.
I'm actually in the market for an assistant.
I'm Templin. My name is Templin.
And you want one of the natives?
No. This is part of he's part of the force that was pulled in, including like the
So
the
he's an
soldiers that
Imperial
fought.
Guardsman then.
He's like
Ah,
Imperial
okay.
Guardsman. Yeah, it's like exactly.
You ever think of signing up for a rogue trader crew?
I tend to go where I get told to go ever since I was taken off my home world by the.
I lean back to Nero and
Munitorum.
it's like, tell him to go onto the Hand of Calixis then.
You know, young man,
He's good.
I once was a member of the Imperial Guard myself. Before that, a member of the Cadian White Shields. Sometimes a man with your level of capability and skill has to go off the beaten path. There's nothing wrong with doing exactly what you're told. You're following the path that the God Emperor has laid out for you, but sometimes he offers choices. The door is open. If you want to sign on to our crew, we could use a driver who's also pretty handy with spreadsheets. I love meetings. I absolutely adore them.
Could one of you two give me a charm test at plus 20 for this?
Why am I not here for this?
Because this is our guy. He's not yours. He's ours, okay? This is our son.
That's right.
We
yes.
adopted him.
You have 25,000 people. Can we just have one?
My charm is 50.
my charm is 50.
Okay, you better do it then.
Okay, so Dawn steps in to close the deal. Like, he's right there. He's a little bit intimidated by Nero.
I'm like putting my hands on his shoulders, like giving him a back rub sort of
You
thing.
have
It's
don't you get like a -5 since you mentioned the Hand of Calixis?
That's true. We all do get a -5 on social tests because our ship is super scary.
I thought it had the emissary of the Imperator trait.
It gives us +15 to intimidate people, but -5 to all other social tests.
Okay, no worries.
But when you mention it, or is it just automatic?
It's if they know that we're crewmen.
If they know that's where you're from, yeah.
When he knows. We're trying to get him on board. So you have a +15.
Yeah, so you'd be 65% chance.
okay, so +15.
Oh,
I will re-roll this.
okay. Fate point reroll. It's one.
It's important.
If you succeed one roll today, make it this one.
+15. Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Oh,
Hey.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay. That's it.
Perfect.
Okay. So Wally Templin is his name.
nice. He's the golf cart driver.
I turn to Don and say, "Do you want him, or shall I take him?"
You have
No.
Cade.
I don't have Cade yet. Cade lives on this planet. Listen, recruiting Cade is on my list.
You already have Cade.
So I do have Dawn has always wanted an assistant, but she did request a while ago a zero. Is that what they're called?
No.
Yeah.
Null.
Yep.
Pretty much what Cade is.
Yeah. But this guy seems more personable, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Well, that's the case. Nulls
aren't personable.
Instinctively
Yeah.
make you feel uncomfortable when you're in their presence.
Yeah. So she'll say, "Would you like to come aboard and be my personal assistant?"
Yes. I would dearly like to serve on the hand.
I will speak with your commanding officer, Wally Templin.
So for the first time ever, like Dawn sits back, she's like kind of happy, kind of like, yeah, things are going good. She like puts out like a little fist bump for Nero.
Yeah, Nero will fist bump, and then he'll say, "Don, are you smiling?"
Yes, this is a great day. I've always wanted an assistant.
Your predecessor had an assistant that she beat the shit out of.
I would never do such a thing.
Only verbally.
Very verbal.
Yeah, it's just the emotional abuse that sticks with you.
What was his name again? Sorry,
Wally Templin.
Wally Templin.
Yeah. Well, Wallace Templin, but specifically.
Oh, look, Don, we're here.
All right. Meanwhile, Pierre has got this group of mercenaries together to head into the ship. When you're approached by Librarian Viridius. Lord Captain,
Hello.
I wish to speak with
Yes,
you.
library. Absolutely. Do you prefer alone?
Sorry?
Do you prefer alone?
No. This is not anything personal. I wish to pass on a difficult thanks. As you know, it's been very difficult for us to forecast beyond the battle here, or beyond the time the Silver Skulls came to this world because of the effect of the Nulls. But one thing that our prophecies did tell us was that our captain would die here on this world. He went into battle knowing that this was to be his last. And yet your sister Hospitaller, through the Emperor's divine will, has saved him. I can only pass on the thanks of my entire chapter for this. And I'm sure that Bourne, when he is recovered fully, will do the same. But I wish you to know that whatever path destiny had carved out for us here, it is inexorably changed by the presence of you and your crew.
I like to think that sometimes we're in charge of our own path.
Heresy. Fucking heresy. Sorry.
Yeah,
Sorry.
he stole balls you. No, just kidding.
I would accept it. What am I going to do?
You're heading into. I heard with my hands hearing you talking about heading inside the ship. Do you need further guard?
If you wish to accompany me, I wouldn't mind.
Well, I will consider it my duty under the circumstances.
I do like to thank you and your chapter for assisting us as well. You've come very much great and very helpful in this battle. It had been a very difficult one without you.
No problem.
And I apologize for any sort of tension as far as, and I understand why you could not tell me as to the fate of the dreadnought. But
Yes, there are secrets you're obviously privy to that are best kept a secret.
I understand. I'm working with the I was working with the Inquisition. I understand there's secrets everywhere.
All right, so he goes into the ship with you. Now, also, probably some tech priests come along to help, probably because I think at least one of the tech priests survived. Maybe they both survived. But at least one of them will come along to help if there's any sort of technical expertise required to recover the data from the console. At the same time, they're probably muttering to themselves about, because they've heard part of the plan is to bombard the ship. So they're probably muttering to themselves about the state of the ship and where potentially would be the best place to strike to cause the most powerful damage or the best chance of destroying what's actually beneath the surface. Because effectively
shoot in the giant crater that's surface.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, like, your weapons aren't that exact,
precise.
The lance has a radius of 1 kilometer, and the macro battery radius of 16 kilometers.
Lovely.
They're accurate to within that range. So and of course the ship itself is sort of like a blade of armor for whatever's beneath it too. It's got to get through that.
Yeah, it's going to take a while, essentially.
Yeah. He says, Lord Captain, may I present one option to you? If you wish to destroy this ship, we could potentially fire up either the warp drive or the plasma drive. The continued bombardment has a chance of igniting one or the other, which would enhance the destructive power of the destruction of this vessel. And you can tell, like, it hurts him to say this. It hurts him to talk about destroying such an ancient ship.
I understand that it is very painful for you. What would happen if you destroyed the warp drive? That sounds something I don't want to destroy.
It would potentially be quite dangerous for the inhabitants of the planet.
That's what I figured. What would happen if you destroyed the plasma drive?
It would probably be dangerous for the inhabitants of this, well, not this whole continent, but certainly it would have an area of effect, probably several hundred kilometers in radius.
Guesstimating, is any of my colonies or any of the natives in the area?
No, they give. So there are natives in the area, but a lot of they do give this place a very wide berth. So it wouldn't be too hard to evacuate the potential area of effect.
And I'm guessing like the after effects are is like the place is irradiated or something.
No, it's more like it's a firestorm. So it will, it won't make the place unlivable so much for the fact that it will wipe out all surface vegetation, for example, in the area.
I'm trying to think how big 100 kilometers is in comparison of. You said 100 kilometers?
Yeah, so 63 miles in radius.
As compared to a whole planet.
I mean, there'll be after effects from such a massive explosion.
Yeah, on the surface of the planet.
Yeah, like the sun being blotted out, but
I feel like it'd be.
It's that or continual bombardment until we get through the ship into the stuff beneath.
Come
on, Pondo, you're all about hard mode.
I think it'd be better off just to do the continual bombardment. As simple and easy as blowing up either the warp drive, which could be a major problem for fairly obvious reasons, or the plasma drive for same but different reasons.
Okay. Just let you know that those macro cannon shells aren't free.
fully am aware of that.
Okay.
I see the reports.
Very good.
All of them have Nero's signature on them.
He likes to order in excess. Lord Captain, I need at least. I'm sorry, Lord Captain. I would like to have at least 100,000 cases of this, just as soon as possible. Thank you. I have to drop it down. Never mind. Can the plasma drive and warp drive be recovered? Possibly, or do you think they'll be destroyed regardless?
Any fire, we will have to destroy the ship to reach what's beneath it. If we want to recover the warp drive and plasma drive, we can, but that will probably take a month or so of work to extract them from the ship safely.
Because they're in the line of 60 kilometers, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So they're exactly right. Yeah, the ship itself is about 5 kilometers long. So.
It would be purposely igniting them to explode is the issue.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, they don't explode in a cascade if they're not actually switched on at the time they're blown up. They're inert material until then.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Plasma has to be superheated, otherwise it's inert.
Right. I'd say we just blast through and have it be done. Have it be done as long and painful that's going to be.
Okay. He'll make sure that probably his team recovers anything that is of anything we can get in the next few hours. We'll recover that's of any value as such.
They've had literally months to do this.
Yeah, which they've been doing. Yeah, that's it. But they didn't plan to like. They weren't literally unnailing things as such. They took anything that was like material they could pull out. This is like
now they're unnailing everything.
That's right. Yeah. All right, and you get to the bridge, and indeed there is a file sitting on the console, which appears to be approximately 2-minute audio file, but it does have a hefty layer of encryption, so that's downloaded to a data pad.
It's got a WinRAR password on it.
Damn it! No one does that.
Check the README file. Does it have anything on there? Nope. Fuck.
All right, so as Pierre goes to leave the ship, why don't we have a break?
Sure.
Okay. We'll be back for the second half quite soon. Stick around.